Welcome back, guys, to T&K's Automotive, and as always, Tristan. So I have not picked up any new tools lately, but I did end up buying a car. I bought a Pontiac Grand Prix '07. Needs some work. I got it for a good deal. Yesterday I did the exhaust on it because it's the flex pipe. I'll show you guys. The flex pipe that goes to the connects to the header, which they have this doohickey there, which the spring inside was cracked open, so it was loud as hell. So I ended up cutting one off a puller point, getting a new one. So I put that on there, and then I found out the muffler was bad, so I ended up just buying a cherry bomb, putting that on there. So now it's nice and quiet. But today I'm going to start tearing down and do, because it needs a power steering pump and maybe a rack and pinion. I don't know for sure yet. There's no power steering fluid in it, but there's power steering fluid all over the engine bay. So I think it's the pump leaking and it's getting all over the belt, causing it to fling everywhere. So we're going to start with that and see if we need to do the lines or what else we need to do. So yeah, so let's get into it. So before I take the car off the jack stands, since I did the exhaust yesterday, I'm going to take the tire off so it's easier to get to the power steering pump, which is a 19mm. I use Milwaukee, you can use whatever. But we're going to take this tire off now. Looks like the lug nuts are swollen a little bit. You gotta love when that happens. Yeah, the lug nuts are definitely swollen. Now this car hasn't been driven in probably like, I don't know, at least a year. It has nice tires on it, different rims from the other side, so I'm going to end up doing a pull apart, grabbing the other rims. So because this side this looks like it goes to a Buick. As you can see, needs a tie rod end. See it, the tire hasn't been off in a while. Get that out of the way. Ooh. Let's bring you guys over here, see if you guys can see what's going on. Now you see all that, that's all power steering fluid. It's all caked around the whole undercarriage of this thing. So it looks like it needs an axle too, because the boot's blown. That could be partly why all the grease is everywhere. Needs stabilizer, the stabilizer bar brackets. It looks like it's blown out. I don't know how that could happen. So we're going to end up doing that. So right off what I can see, axle, tie rod end, stabilizer link, some rotors, and some brake pads. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the screw pot pins out to get that plastic out of the way, just so it makes it easier to get better access. And these usually never want to come out. But, let's see here. Yeah, they definitely don't want to come out. That's going to spin in here. Oh, this one's coming out. You don't want to push too hard because the threads on the Phillips are just plastic and they're going to want to come out. So you kind of want to like try and get your finger behind there and pull at the same time. Once you get it going, you can just use your finger, and that's what it looks like. I'm going to set that off to the side. That pops out. Let's see if we can get this one out by pulling on it a little bit. There it comes. Just try it. Yeah, this one's going to be a pain in the booty. There we go. Get that out of the way. Now we got that. Now you can see the AC compressor's gone. They just ended up putting a pulley there. So this car used to be an AC car, but now it's not. Alright. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to dismember. Let's bring it over here. I'm going to dismember all the brake stuff off of here, get the tire rod end off, get this stuff out of the way, and then we'll get the axle out because we know it needs replaced. We'll get that the bushing, we'll get that out of the way, the stabilizer bar bracket. I don't know what the other side looks like, but we'll get to that point. Alright. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the caliper off and the shoe. The caliper bolts are going to be 15 millimeter. I'm going to end up using a 3/8 ratchet and then my 3/8 Milwaukee to cement them all the way out. Oh. Oh, god damn. Oh! Alright, well, now we gotta step it up to a half drive. Working on cars, nothing will be easy. Definitely don't see no grease in there. Of course. God damn, motherfucker's in there. Definitely don't see no grease in those. You're supposed to put grease on those because that's how the caliper slides in and out. And obviously, there is none because it shouldn't be that hard to get up out of there. Now, since it ain't just gonna want to slide out, what we're gonna do is get up on the lip of the bolt. And you can see, since you don't put grease in it, you see how hard they are to get out of there. Pain in the ass now. Something just simple. I'm breaking free, dude. Step up to a bigger hammer. It's coming slowly but surely. It's fighting the whole way too. There it comes. Now look at that. How rusty that is. Always important to grease your slides. Perfect example right there. Turn it this way a little bit, get the light out of there. Shoe is stuck on there now. Which what we can do here, see if you get up in here. And you press on the caliber a little bit. Break it free. Give it a little bit more action here. There we go. Set that up out of the way there. Yeah, you can tell this car hasn't moved in a minute. Pads are gone. So we need to get brake pads for it. Now these are probably, if I'm not mistaken here, I think they're going to be 15s. Yep, they are. So with that being said, I don't feel like working at it too hard. But it's going to get the Milwaukee. See if we can. Nope. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. Of course, I don't know how I grabbed the wrong socket here. Today. Do this, break them loose. That'll come right out of there. Having that gun makes life a lot easier. Mostly all the tools I'm using are going to be from Harbor Freight, the Icon lineup. The chrome sockets are a little soft. At first I didn't think that, but they are. But with lifetime warranty, you can't really bitch about that. The rotor looks alright, so we're just going to end up resurfacing the rotor. So now that's out of the way, we're going to get this tie rod end off. Because we know we got to replace that, so we're going to get the tie rod end off. And we're going to get that link off right there, because you can see it's broke. So that's got to go. And then get this axle out of here. So what we do, you take those top bolts out to get the axle out and the axle nut off. I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to do this tie rod end off real quick. And this light, I got it from Harbor Freight. I dropped it a couple times, but every time I go set it on a thing, it goes out, and it's really annoying. So I think I might just replace this one and get another one. Keep that one for a backup. If I'm not mistaken, most tie rod ends are going to be 18s. And once again, we'll use the Milwaukee, bust it loose. You can see it's blown out. Now this is a great tool to have. It's like a pickle fork almost. But instead of using a pickle fork and doing all that craziness with that, you just put that in there, tighten it up. And then there's going to be a 19 mil on that. I'm going to pop it right out of there. Like you just seen here. Came apart relatively easy. So we'll put that back in there. Bust that nut loose. And these nuts are usually 22 millimeter. See if I can. I'm gonna have to move you guys out the way real quick. Let's see if you can kind of see it there. That busts loose. You just bust it loose and you leave the jam nut where it's at so you can see what you got to do. Well, you leave the jam nut there so when you put the new one on, your alignment's still kind of the same as long as the tie rod end is still the exact same size as the old one. Saves you from getting alignment done. So this thing is blown out. You can see that. I'll show you guys. Now you see how, ooh, yeah, look at that, blown out. Now we're going to take his knees off so we can get the axle out. Probably going to be a 21 millimeter or 19. I think it's a 19. Could be wrong, it probably will be a 21. Yeah. Like Justin Struggle says, big dick Bahamic mode. Blow him out. Alright. Now we're going to do this axle nut, which might be a 32 millimeter. It's kind of small. Oh, that's going to be bigger. Try a 24. Yeah, it's going to be a 24. Stands no chance with Big Dick Bahamic. Alright, now that that's out, what we're going to do, pop these suckers out. Now what you should do is, when you're popping the strut bolts out, always put the bolt back in if you're about to hit it. So it keeps the end from mushing me. Get them worked loose. Came out pretty easy. A couple times you got to use an air hammer to get up on that, but these came out pretty easy. Alright, now with that like that, what we're going to do is just spin them out the rest of the way here. Well, actually no, because they don't got bolt heads on. So what we're going to do is get a punch. Always keep a punch on handy. Put that sucker in there like that. Oh, there goes the caliper. Punch that sucker out of there like that. Punch that out there like that. Now that we got that out, we gotta. They have this little nipple in here for an air hammer. Well, that's what I think it's for. You put an air hammer in there and you can jam it back. But sometimes you don't need to do that. Okay, we're gonna need to do that. So I'm gonna pause you guys, get my air compressor going, get that out of there. So I couldn't get the axle out of the bearing. I'm done fucking around. So I pulled it out of the boot back there because it was already broke. So I pulled it out back there. See if you can see it. I pulled it out from the boot back there. So now you got that hanging out and the spindle like this. So I'm going to just pop the bearing out and take the whole thing out as a unit and replace both of them because I'm not going to mess around with them that much. So now that we're here, we're going to pop these, I think they're 13mm bolts to hold the bearing in. Get up in here like this. Pop them suckers out of there. So yeah, I'm going to do that and then we'll get back to you.